Okay, this is the November 1st, 10 a.m. Piscataway Township update from Hurricane Sandy damage. I have with me to my left, to your right, Captain Rick Ivone, and I also have the Fire Marshal Bob Gore. The update from PSE&G is they do have tree crews working in the town today. I want to let you know the Department of Public Works is over in the Lake Nelson Mettlers Lane area trying to clear out whatever debris they can without going around primary lines. They are over into the Arbor section. Our ultimate game plan is for by Saturday to have all areas accessible for motor vehicle if possible, as long as the power lines are not down and/or power poles. If you do need power to charge your mobile devices, Kennedy Library is open till 9 o'clock tonight. There's heat over there if you want heat. We also have a 24/7 that you can come into the police station lobby and charge up your mobile devices. We also want to remind residents that please, I know it's getting chilly out in the evening, especially if you're a senior, just wear heavy clothes, blankets. We're hoping to see that the power gets on within the next couple of days. PSE&G is going to be concentrating on areas where they believe that they can get the most residential houses up online. So obviously, if you have a lead line going from the pole to your house, a service line that's disconnected, that may take a little while longer, because right now they're just concentrating on getting the main power going down individual streets. So those people who didn't have damage done to their electrical services going from their house to the pole damage, they want to get that resolved. I did ask both Chief Ivone and Fire Marshal Gore to be down here today because we had some issues that cropped up overnight because of the cold weather. We had a lot of serious situations around town with carbon monoxide poisoning, and at this point I'm going to turn it over to Fire Marshal Gore. Go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, Mayor. There's some things that I like to talk about, especially with generators. People are lined up at gas stations with gas cans. Number one, if you're using a gas can, make sure that it is for gas only. And also, when you have a power generator, there's a couple items, safety items, that you have to address. Number one is make sure the generator is located outside your house, not inside, because the fumes and the carbon monoxide, which is odorless and tasteless, but it can affect you, and then you're going to get overcome with poisoning. Keep the generator away from your house and the exhaust from that generator facing away from the house. If you're going to run an extension cord, make sure it's an adequate extension cord that can feed the appliances. Also, if you're filling your generator, make sure that it cools down, then open up the gas lid and then pour the gas in it. Once the generator stalls out, don't run with the gas can and put the gas inside, because some of that gas could spill on the exhaust and then you would cause a fire from the generator that's located outside. If you're going to run an extension cord, try to run it, don't have it so that the windows or the doors are wide open and the fumes that you have with the generator running outside goes back into the house. Another thing, people are using gas patio propane heaters in their house. You can't run anything that's propane from grills, patio heaters, or even gas stoves with natural gas. When you turn on a natural gas stove, when there's nothing that's on it to heat up, what happens is it's going to turn around and create carbon monoxide. You're going to get overcome with carbon monoxide. So don't use your stove, don't open up the heater. Those appliances that are the heaters that are the ovens or gas appliances, what they do, they're only meant to heat up food. They're not meant as a heating appliance. Because if you leave the burners on with nothing on it, you're going to fill up the whole house with carbon monoxide, and it could be seriously hurt. Another thing is, there's a lot of people that are using candles. If you're going to use candles, make sure that the area where the candles are located are on a secured area. There is no combustibles such as picture frames, cloths, or anything around that. And if you're going to use candles, make sure you put it on some type, like a china plate, a hot plate, and keep everything away. Don't try to run a lot of small type of extension cords to different appliances, because what happens, those cords can create a hazard. People step over them, you put stuff on it, so you gotta watch where you place your extension cords. The main thing is, if you have a generator, make sure that generator is away from the house, the exhaust is facing away from the house. Don't put it near your front doors, and don't leave things open so the fumes can go back inside your house. You gotta make sure that you're safe. Another thing, people are using fireplaces that they never used before. If you haven't had your fireplace cleaned, what happens is if you start to use it, the inside of a fireplace, if you haven't had it cleaned by a chimney sweeper, a chimney company, that inside creates soot and it builds up a lot of creosote, which is an oil-based film that's been laying there for years. If you start to use a fireplace that you never used before, that's gonna create a hazard. It could catch fire. So even if you have wood and you have a fireplace and you never use, it's not recommended that you do start using it now, because the inside, once you heat up the fireplace inside the chimney, down at the base, it's gonna create a lot of heat, and that heat's gonna go up and catch the debris that's been caked up on the inside of the chimney walls, and you could have a fire inside your chimney. So you gotta stay safe and try to just keep in mind, even though you don't have heat, you gotta keep you and the occupants of your house in a safe manner. Thank you. I want to just make another point about the ovens. A lot of people that we had calls that not just the top burner plates on the gas, but people are using ovens. They're opening up the oven boxes, and they think that's, like we stressed before, that people are using their ovens and stovetops as heating appliances. Again, that creates carbon monoxide, and that appliance wasn't meant to be a heater. If you don't, like I said, if you don't have any food or anything that's inside to heat up that appliance, it's gonna create carbon monoxide. Again, carbon monoxide is an odorless type of gas which takes the oxygen away from your inside the house, and people are gonna get sick, and then people could actually have some serious side effects from that. So don't use any type of heating appliance that isn't meant to be inside your house. That's just the safe thing. Again, also with the candles, be sure, do not use candles next to any type of clothing or anything else. If you have a candle, make sure put it on an extra, like, say, dinner plate, so you have some type, because the bottom of the candles, when they start burning down, they get a little bit warm and they get hot, and it could catch anything on fire. So put yourself in a safety manner and keep these tips in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Fire Marshal Gore. I can't reiterate the importance of what Fire Marshal Gore just mentioned, because of the fact is that last night we had over 24 people have to go to the hospital for carbon monoxide poisoning. And what that does, and this is just common sense knowledge, what that does is it taxes our first responders. So we're trying to minimize the costs for our first responders out there for the more serious matters. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Chief Ivone.
Thank you, Mayor. Just let the people know out there that we are working along with PSEG to identify the problem areas within our township and to get the most serious problems fixed as soon as possible. We've made lists, we've checked, we've gone back and checked the progress, so we're working hand in hand with them. Gas shortage. People believe there's a gas shortage. As more and more power comes online, gas will become more readily available. For those now that are trying to decide, because only a few gas stations are open, there are long lines, be prepared to wait, please have patience. We have police officers at every gas station that is open. They are monitoring the situation, but if it gets out of hand, they will shut the gas station down. Safety, public safety is our #1 concern. And like the mayor and fire marshal said, last night we had several calls of the carbon monoxide, and several people went to the hospital, but we did have numerous calls with that, and that's becoming a cropping up problem there. So again, use caution when you're outside, when you're traveling the roads. There are still many roads that are blocked. We are working as quickly as possible to get them open, so be safe.
Thank you, Chief Ivone. I want to reiterate, for those homes that have storm damage, contact your insurance carriers. They may have certain policies and procedures in effect that you may not just be able to call a contractor to come in and clear a tree off your house or do some of the damage, and whatever your deductibles are. So please call your insurance carriers. If you haven't done so already, you had substantial damage, you need to get that documented. Anything that has township street trees that had come down, we're in the process with the Department of Public Works to try to remedy that. Some of those trees that may be lying on people's homes, we necessarily can't have our own individual crews do that because we don't have the necessary equipment to do it safely. So we're prioritizing a list in order. We did have some houses that the residents had to leave or condemned temporarily because of structural safety. So if there's a question about structural safety about your house from the storm, please contact my office at 732-562-2301. We will have the appropriate building inspectors, one of the building inspectors come out and take a quick surveys. Do not call about a nuisance call if maybe your siding or a few shingles are off. We're talking about serious issues where trees are substantially done damage. We've had a lot of street trees that have come down on cars. We're going to try to get them out underway. You're going to have to notify your automobile carrier also about the insurance carrier. We will try to keep you with updates later in this afternoon. We do have a conference call scheduled late this morning with PSE&G about their status. And we want to reiterate safety. If you have a question, you can call my office and we will try to get it back to you. So to rehash what we said, if you need mobile devices charged up, you can come to the police headquarters 24/7. If you need to get a little bit of warm and read a book or go on the internet, you can go to JFK Library, and you can also charge up your mobile devices over there. So with that, and if there's elderly population out there that has problems or anything, just contact my office through the Middlesex County Emergency Management. There is some shelters set up in adjacent communities where they're better equipped. Unfortunately, our evacuation site that we normally would have is under reconstruction right now. And unfortunately, it's not going to be ready for 2 months, but it's not dealing with us now. So at the end game here is I want to remind things, listen, we were able to get through the storm here. We want to make sure that we have no serious health problems or serious catastrophes after the storm. So just keep safety in mind, and we will continue over the next couple of days, keep giving you hopefully 12-hour updates around the given time. Thank you.